The Death of Casual Shooters. So this one is by someone by the name of Crucial FPS. 9.4K subs. Video one day ago got 1,000 views. So obviously the video is doing pretty good for his size of channel. And I have no idea what it's going to be about other than the death of casual shooter. So let's listen in, pay attention.
Hello everyone, my name is Sea
Oh, it's Sea
Nanners.
Nanners.
Playing some team deathmatch on High Rise.
Okay, I'm actually curious. Did any of you watch Sea Nanners? Like, not Minecraft, Call of Duty.
What's going down, guys? My name is Hutch, and I make Call of Duty videos.
And put them on the internet.
Hey guys, Jack here, bringing you a brand new Easter egg that we've discovered in Battlefield 3.
I don't know what's happened, but it seems like in the last 10 years, there really has been no focus on making casual shooters anymore. 10 to 20 years ago, that's really all people really made. There wasn't really this sense.
What are we considering a casual shooter? Like, I'm assuming Call of Duty
of competitiveness with FPS games.
Has added too much competitiveness with skill-based matchmaking.
It was all about a casual experience, having fun with your friends. There was some competitiveness, obviously. With any sort of game, there will always be people that try to be the best at that game, no matter what. But these casual fans and the super tryhards were able to play together and have a good time, and it didn't really bother people that much. But for whatever reason now, in 2024, it seems like almost every single FPS game that comes out is this super competitive, esports-focused game. And I don't really understand.
Is that true?
Why. There's not really a whole lot of money in esports. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me as to why there wouldn't be any sort of focus on casual FPS games at all. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still casual FPS games. You have games like Warzone, Battlefield, even though Battlefield is kind of having a hard time right now. There's really not a lot of them.
Are they really like that focused on competitive? Like I'm Valorant or however you say it, that one.
That's why I was super excited for the release of this Delta Force game, because there is this Battlefield-like game mode on there that's really good, really well made. People very much enjoy it. What are we considering a casual shooter? There's no competitive rank side to it at all whatsoever.
Just like no ranked. Like, is that that's where we're drawing? Also, this camera is blowing out. Like, is that what we're considering?
The extraction game mode, which is its own little thing. And you can argue that an extraction game mode is some kind of weird in-between area of a very competitive game mode and casual game mode. Games like Escape from Tarkov have a very hardcore audience, but also have somewhat of a more casual audience. But the Havoc Warfare game mode in Delta Force really is focusing on that casual aspect of gaming, and it shows that there is still a huge market for that. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing nowadays. With how many FPS game releases there are, the genre gets split up pretty substantially to where it seems like at the same time, FPS games are extremely popular, but also not popular at the same time. It's because these
Like, what would you say? That is not true. Somebody came out with the idea, let's make tournament style and invite the best players. It was a way to make money off the game's popularity. Yeah, but like I'm not, like, I think you can agree that like Valorant, however the hell you say it, CSGO, these games are all, like, Team Fortress 2 is definitely casual, but there's a competitive side to it as well.
Audiences are so split up. Each individual game has a relatively small audience compared to other big releases that the entire community as a whole feels small, when it's really not. I get a lot of comments saying that casual shooters are dying off because of content creators and esports and whatnot, but I don't think that means that there isn't a market for it. There can be both. There always has been both. I just feel like
so, and then it's funny because he's talking about this, like, ranked mode needs to be a thing at launch for every game. But then are we talking like, so then we're just making the normal modes casual and then the other modes competitive? So wouldn't that still be making a competitive game?
Production studios think that that's where the market is heading, and more competitive ventures tend to be more professional and garner a lot more respect.
Like, it's odd because I would probably say Battlefield is the most casual shooter at this point.
Games. Back in the day, even games like Counter-Strike, which is widely considered to be the greatest FPS game of all time and the greatest competitive FPS game of all time. Back in the day, in like the 2000s, people weren't really playing it that competitively. The actual vast majority of the audience didn't didn't participate in these 5v5 ranked game modes. A lot of the community was just these kind of like private servers of people goofing off with their friends, and most people didn't really even pay attention to the competitive side of Counter-Strike at all. But nowadays, games that claim to be casual aren't really even that casual. Games like Call of Duty that always was supposed to be a casual, fun shooter, caters more to the competitive side.
It does and it doesn't, but I think like the part that he is getting at here is probably skill-based matchmaking, even though he hasn't said those words
and that's
yet.
what they've been trying to move towards more and more over the years, even though there's still a huge market for a very casual, fun, easy kind of shooter. I think you're seeing that more with the super in-depth weapon customization they've been doing for the past few years, along with the new omnidirectional movement. It's fun, especially for a guy like me who actually is very into the competitive side of gaming, but also the casual side of gaming. It's fun to do these sort of things, but I feel like we need more casual shooters. When I was a kid, I grew up on games like Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, where there was only one attachment or two attachments if you had the blink perk, and that was really it.
So I think the more side of things that he is getting into here is like, let me give you an example as opposed to what he is saying, right? So back in the day, like he's talking about Modern Warfare 2 here, you would go in game and let's say you're using the UMP, the gun that he has out right now, or the UMP if you want to call it that. You could choose a suppressor if you want to stay off the minimap. You could choose a red dot if you don't like the iron sights. I think it had rapid fire if you wanted a faster time to kill, but more recoil. There was one thing that you could choose, and it was extremely straightforward what each of those did. So you didn't need to look up a tutorial or figure out what the best setup was or anything like that. Maybe you look up a video for perks here and there, but now to be competitive, you got to look up a loadout for a gun and have 5 different attachments, and in some case, Black Ops 6, it might be 8 different attachments. That is, I think, more so what he's talking about. Like, it's not just a casual pick up and play thing. There is like this like meta that you have to know to really succeed at a game.
There wasn't really any complicated movement mechanics. The map's relatively simple. There weren't a lot of gimmicks at all. It was just straightforward.
So actually, Frost makes a good point here. I'm surprised he didn't mention hero shooters. I would assume, like, for the most part, you'd probably consider hero shooters casual, but there is absolutely competitive modes for those, Overwatch being a great example. I only play COD Zombies and Campaign and will very casually play MP, but I don't enjoy the modes. My friend get mad at me for liking Zombies for its depth and not just viewing COD for the basic shooter. To be honest, if it weren't for Zombies, I'd stop buying COD a long time ago. So yeah, that's definitely more casual. I think that's safe to say.
Not really much to it. There was no ranked mode, nothing. It was just a very casual, easygoing experience where you try to click on the guy before they click on you. And that was really about all there was to it. You could use all these different weapons. All these different weapons had uses for them. You didn't have to use a meta weapon 24/7.
There it is.
You didn't have to go on YouTube looking up builds for your weapon.
So now he's talking about the same thing as me.
Build so you can kill the guy as fast as possible. You could just use whatever weapon you wanted to, whatever weapon seemed fun to you, and it would work most of the time. And that argument that competitive shooters and content creators...
So here's the thing, though. There's another part, which is me and a stealth. I don't look up gun loadouts. I just try to make them myself and not listen to other people. I pretty much do the same thing unless I'm playing Warzone, but it feels like you have to. If you're playing at a high level, if you're not using these meta guns and meta loadouts, it feels like you're at a disadvantage right away. And that's, in my opinion, a fault of skill-based matchmaking.
And people always trying to be the next big tryhard. Killing off casual games really doesn't work, because when I was a kid and I was playing Modern Warfare 2, there were people that were
hey, you make a good point. I feel like Black Ops 6 kind of fixed these things by making all of the attachments accessible and do good things. It's
way better than me. When I first started playing, I had like a 0.6 KD or something like that. I was terrible at the game. My first nuke that I got was me playing on Afghan, sitting in a corner in free-for-all with suppressed TAR-21. Sitting in the corner.
Were you using Claymores?
For people to run past me until I got a Harrier. Then I got my chopper gunner, then I got my nuke. And I was super excited. It was my first one ever. But I was horrible. I had to camp in order to get
Were you using Claymores?
But when I played against these people that were way better than me, I didn't think, oh, these guys are ruining my experience. I don't want to play against these people. I thought, man, I want to be like that. I want to get really good at this game. So I'm going to do that. And I obsessed over FPS games, wanting to get better at them all the time. And that was the fun in it for me. And that's the fun of it for a lot of people. The competitiveness doesn't kill off the game. There can be both communities.
Are you trolling, Man of Stealth? You said the Sidewinder in Warzone is now good. Is that true?
At the same time, and there has been for many years. It's the direction that these games are being developed into, they aren't being developed with the casual player base at all in mind. And again, I'm not really sure.
We need a separate studio running ranked modes and MP, BR. In COD, isn't Treyarch the one that's mostly doing that? I could be wrong.
Sure why. There's a huge market for it. There's a lot of people who just want to come home and have a good time. And you can have a PvP, not just PvE focused first person shooter. That there are a lot of casual PvE FPS games.
I would love a Call of Duty PvE game.
PvP, casual PvP games. That is super uncommon for whatever reason. And there's a lot of people that want that. So if you're a developer watching this video, this super hyper competitive nature that FPS games have headed into is not necessarily the way to make a good game. And it's not necessarily the way to make the most money either. There's a lot of money in casual shooters. I mean, look at like Fortnite. When Fortnite first came out, everybody was playing Fortnite.
Wait. Do we consider Fortnite a casual shooter? It's a good question.
Almost everybody was playing it. It was this huge, massive phenomenon, and there was no thought at all about the competitive nature of it. People just thought it was a really cool concept.
Everyone's saying
battle royale concept.
I don't think it's a casual shooter. Maybe at first.
Again, PUBG was the same way when it came out. It was this massive, very cool, casual experience that people really, really enjoyed. It can still work in this day. It can still work in 2024. People are very hungry for this, and I think games like Delta Force, specifically the Battlefield mode, really showed that people are hungry for this.
Maybe I need to play that game.
But that's all I really wanted to talk about in this video. Casual shooters hold a very special place in my heart, and I would really like to see more.
Yeah, a lot of the games that he was giving examples for there, I don't think were casual. But like, that's what I said from the very beginning of this video. What are we considering casual? Like, if you were to be like, what is the most casual shooter currently on the market? I'd probably say like Roblox. But like, I don't think like it seems like the kind of like what he's actually saying is the second a game becomes mainstream, it is no longer a casual shooter. Like that's actually because Delta Force, the more people that play it, the sweatier it's going to get. And then is it a casual shooter? I don't know.
If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and sub. It helps me out quite a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Is that it? Is that it?
And I want to first start off by saying that this game is amazing, and I totally love this game. This is actually my first game. I know a lot of you guys had requested.
And this brings me back.
I go ahead and upload this, and well, here it is. And I want to apologize for the screen being cropped. When you start off the game, it asks you to adjust the margins.
Is the whole thing nanners? He just put nanners at the end. I think he did it to make the video 8 minutes long. That's actually kind of funny. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one because based off of what he's saying, there is no casual shooters at all. Like that's kind of my takeaway from it. Because at this point, a game, if Call of Duty came out and you could only use one attachment on a weapon and the game was more simplified, maybe people would like it for like a week and then people would get bored of it. Like really, really bored of it. So I don't think we will ever have shooters like we used to. And if I was to pick a casual, I was going to say Battlefield's a casual shooter, as casual as it gets, but really it's like more milsimmy. So like, is it? Like I'm kind of torn on this one. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really have an answer for this one. Like normally I have like a strong opinion that I can be like, casual shooters, this is what it is. This is what we need more of. And like, he didn't really convince me that like a casual shooter is like, I wish he would have defined early on what made a casual shooter. All he said is like bringing back like Modern Warfare 2 and things like that. So I don't know. I'm torn on this one. Let me know what you think, but odd.